Okay, hello and welcome everybody. I'm Jason Gumpert from MSDynamicsWorld.com, and thanks for joining today for today's event on Dynamics CRM and e-signatures. Leading today's discussion is Rick McCutcheon, a longtime contributor to MS Dynamics World and a CRM industry veteran. He's a Microsoft MVP. We're really glad to have him back. Rick is joined today by two members of the team behind ESign Live by Solanus. They are Product Marketing Manager Rahim Kaba and Senior Sales Engineer Mauro Franco. And we're pleased to welcome them to the event as well. So to get the event started, please know that we do invite you in the audience to add your feedback and ask questions today during the presentation. There will be some live poll questions as well, so do be on the lookout for those. And you can use the Q&A panel that you see to the right of the window to ask questions of our speakers during the event. So without further delay, Rick, let me hand it off to you.
Thank you, Jason. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to this presentation on e-signature capture for Dynamics CRM. This is a very hot topic. I was at the Dynamics Industry Show last week with Solanus showing this product, and there's a lot of heavy-duty conversations, we'll say, and a lot of interest from enterprise-type accounts, government accounts, retail accounts. So it's a very, very exciting place to be. So on slide 2 here, CRM is really positioned to be, one of the largest enterprise products in the market today. And in a presentation I've done recently, I used a slide that shows that CRM spending is going to surpass ERP spending sometime in late 2016, early 2017. So it's an exciting space to be in. And for those out there who are CRM professionals, we finally reached the top of the mountain. So one of the things we're going to talk about today is using e-signature capture within CRM that's going to really help you, I think, around user adoption, around, coming full circle around your sales and business processes within CRM. And I think it makes it a very, very effective tool. And it's really going to, what we call, modernize your CRM experience. So the next slide, Raheem. So like paper equivalent, e-signature is legal. The U.S. government 10 years ago legalized it, and I'm sure Raheem will talk more about that. So if you get somebody to sign online, it'll stand up in court. And what I like about Solanus and eSignature Live is the level of security and the level of audit that they put in these e-signatures. And I think it's the reason, and Raheem's going to touch on some of the big enterprise accounts and government agencies that use the product. And that's why I think they're the #1 product in the market. So again, just like CRM, which is growing at over 30% rate per year, e-signature is exploding. So it has a compounded annual growth of 48%. The market will go to $30 billion by 2020. And I think we're seeing a lot of this because we're completely making that whole business process, sales process, marketing process completely paperless. So we're seeing our salespeople, our service people, our any kind of customer-facing person now out there with a phone, with a tablet, with a Ultrabook PC, actually interfacing with customers. And while we're in front of the customer, what's not a better way than to close a transaction down by collecting that signature? You're going to see some pretty exciting technology around that. So e-signature is, as we said, is a winning combination. What happens when it's time to close a deal, when we require a document? How do you control that process? And then how do you store that data in CRM? And I think that e-signatures inside of your CRM becomes very, very important. I know for the user group community, I run a lot of the sessions on user adoption, and it's always a challenge. And when we look at user adoption, it always goes back to the data. How good is the data? What are we storing in CRM, and what are we giving our people a reason to go back into CRM? So I think e-signatures in CRM makes a lot of sense just because I'm going to have one place to go to get my information. And with eSignature Live, you can store it within CRM as a document or store it back into your SharePoint. So Raheem, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can pick up on this next poll and start showing the good people eSignature Live.
Product Marketing Manager at Solanas, ESignLiveTM. We're looking for some information about who's on the call today. So the first poll I have here is, what's your level of experience with e-signatures? So the options are, I'm a newbie, just starting out with e-signatures. I've tried e-signatures, but still a rookie. I'm a pro, I've been using e-signatures for years. Or e-signatures, never heard of them. So we'll give you a couple seconds to reply to that poll.
I see a few people still in progress. We'll give about 5 more seconds here and then close it out.
Sounds good.
All right, and it's going to be in a few more seconds before the results pop up.
Okay.
About 10 more seconds, I think.
All right, there we go. So it looks like the majority of people are newbies here, so really interesting to see that. Thanks so much for responding to our questionnaire. So we're going to touch on a lot of different things in today's presentation. We're going to start off by talking a little bit about the value of e-signatures, so it's kind of the e-signatures 101, so it'll be pretty useful to some of you that are not super familiar with e-signatures yet. So I really like to present this slide when starting off a presentation like this. As Rick mentioned, e-signatures have been legal and enforceable in the U.S. since the passage of the ESign Act in 2000. They provide an enormous opportunity to facilitate the speed, efficiency, and reliability of the contracting process. Now, e-signatures have traditionally appealed to regulated businesses like banking, insurance, government, and healthcare, but we're seeing a lot of interest from companies of all shapes, sizes, and industries. And for that reason, e-signatures have really gone mainstream now. In this slide, it's a summary of some of the challenges our customers were facing when they were in the midst of evaluating e-signature solutions. Before implementing e-signatures, most of them were living in a paper world. So that meant a lot of printing, faxing, sending documents for signature via snail mail. And while most of these organizations were making efforts to digitize documents and processes within their organizations, the last step in the process of obtaining the signature often fell to paper. So, when you have important and time-sensitive documents that require signatures, especially for customer-facing transactions, getting those documents back to you and signed quickly is a crucial step. But many things can go wrong during the process, especially if you're in a paper-intensive world. Your customers may miss a page or a signature, or a package may be missing pages or documents altogether. It's these type of human errors that make these scenarios possible. So, for example, I signed up, filled out a mortgage last year. There was a page missing, and I had to actually come back to my bank and put my signature on that document. So that little, that yellow tag there was missing, and I had to actually come back to my bank and do that. With an electronic process, that doesn't happen. So removing that traditional paper-based process that slows down those workflows, you can actually use e-signatures to make this a more quick, convenient, and easy way to work with your customers. From a legal and compliance perspective, e-signatures actually provide stronger legal defense than is possible with paper. That's simply because e-signatures are backed by electronic evidence, something that really isn't possible in the paper world. And your customers and business partners can use e-signatures that will allow you to improve the customer experience and improve customer perception and long-term customer value. Now, today organizations are adding e-signatures to multiple types of enterprise applications and business processes. Now, the future of business is clearly digital. We're seeing this every day. And the trend to digitize documents and transform business is constantly accelerating. So digitizing your business really starts by eliminating paper. And a good place to start is to remove those pen and ink signatures from your current processes. Now, in today's webcast, we're really focused on talking about leveraging e-signatures inside of your CRM, but it's important to know that organizations are benefiting from e-signatures across multiple types of applications and businesses, and multiple types of applications and systems. And I've listed some of those systems and applications on this slide. So, there's customer communication management, ERP, ECM, mobile apps, document storage and collaboration, productivity apps like Word and Excel. So beyond CRM, there's a lot of different types of platforms that can leverage e-signatures. Now, e-signatures have been gaining a lot of momentum lately. Rick earlier talked a lot about the fact that the market is exploding, and we've seen a real huge upswing in interest over the last, let's say, 18 to 24 months for e-signatures due to the rise of the cloud and integration with complementary technologies like CRM. What's really interesting here is that the growth and interest in e-signatures is fueled by our customers' desire to improve the overall experience for their end customers. So while e-signatures have always appealed and enabled to organizations to reduce both internal costs and time to close business, today customer experience has become the #1 driver for e-signatures. And this makes a lot of sense. If we look at today's consumer, completing transactions on the go is the new normal, and organizations are recognizing the need to cater to an increasingly mobile population. So leveraging technologies like e-signatures helps your customers to do business with you on their terms, so anywhere, anytime, and on any device. And this in turn helps to increase adoption rates for your products and services. Over the years, traditional analysts like Forrester and Gartner have covered the e-signature space. Forrester is actually a good example. They came out with a report comparing e-signature providers across important evaluation criteria. Forrester was looking at the top 10 vendors, and they actually came out in a report that said Solanas is the strongest vendor in both on-premises and SaaS offering. As you can see in the Forrester Wave report on the left, eSignLive by Solanas is a leader alongside DocuSign. Now, DocuSign has developed, what I'd like to think of as a general-purpose e-signature tool. They're focused largely on a consumer market, focused a lot on internal processes. But what makes us different in our solution is that it's really designed for business users and driven by business needs. Many of our customers are in the regulated markets and use e-signature service for customer-facing transactions. We've actually been in the e-signature business for over 20 years now. I don't know if many of you knew that. And this is, even before e-signature law came into play. And since then, we've expanded our footprint around the world. We also have the largest e-signature deployment on the planet, and this includes 1.6 million U.S. Army personnel that use eSignLive every day. In addition to the Forrester research report, peer-to-peer software review sites are starting to gain tremendous popularity because they kind of take a different approach to evaluating different vendors in the space. We're seeing sites like G2 Crowd do an analysis of the e-signature space, and they've actually issued 3 reports to date, and in all 3 reports, eSignLive by Solanas came out as a leader in customer satisfaction. And you can see this in the e-signature grid on the right. The further to the right, the higher the customer satisfaction rating, and that's really important to note that these reviews are from real software users. E-signatures are being used by multiple lines of businesses and departments, and as I alluded to a little bit earlier, they can be used for both internal and external business processes. We've worked with organizations that adopt e-signatures for multiple different areas within the organization. So I've listed a few of these kind of use cases and businesses that are adopting e-signatures within the organization. The possibilities here are really infinite, and there's a massive amount of efficiencies to be gained. For example, we've seen customers decrease contracting cycles by 75%. So they've gone from weeks and days to just hours and minutes to get documents signed. The opportunities to drive savings are really huge, and we're kind of very much at the tipping point in the evolution of e-signatures and digital transactions in general. A lot of our customers are seeing many opportunities within their own companies. E-signatures, for example, are being used by CEOs, customers, vendors, suppliers, partners, and employees across the enterprise. So what's important here is that the process needs to be really, really easy to set up because there's so many different types of users that can benefit from e-signatures. And increasingly, we're seeing businesses leverage e-signatures directly within their CRM. This is particularly the case for sales and marketing organizations that need to send out contracts, agreements, proposals out for signature. But we're also seeing other departments like procurement, IT, and legal that are using e-signatures from their CRM as well. One of the most common use cases for e-signatures is e-contracting. So this essentially involves preparing and sending out contracts electronically. Organizations that need to get contracts out to external users like prospects, customers, partners, and suppliers can use e-signatures to get those documents and contracts signed electronically. E-signature add-ons for CRM applications like Dynamics CRM are really removing those final barriers to the adoption of a fully electronic contracting process. And that's why these two technologies make a lot of sense together. By combining your combining your CRM with e-signature technology, you can help your sales organization speed up the order process and have a true focus on the customer. You'll also enable your customers to sign contracts and agreements electronically, and they'll appreciate the time saved from having to print or scan documents or mail them back to complete the transaction. With e-signatures and your CRM, you'll not only reap the internal benefits of improving sales productivity, but you'll also be able to better improve customer experience that will help drive customer engagement in the long term. We'll show you a little demo of our Dynamics CRM connector in a few minutes, but just wanted to move on and just talk a little bit about what our add-on for Dynamics CRM does. So we recently launched our ESign Live add-on for Dynamics CRM, and what's really great about this tool is that we've essentially done all the integration work for you. We've used our API to integrate the two technologies together. Now, with the integrated solution, you can prepare and send documents for e-signature directly from your CRM system. So you'll be able to invite prospects and customers to electronically sign documents like contracts, NDAs, and then track the progress of the transaction in your CRM, and also use document templates to automate future transactions. So we're going to move on to the next poll here. What I wanted to do here is really to get an understanding of which version of Dynamics CRM the audience is using. This will help us really determine the type of people we're talking to. We have integrations and support currently add-ons for Dynamics CRM 2011 and 2013. We're actively pursuing development for 2015 as well as CRM Online. We just wanted to kind of get a gauge of where everybody's at with their solution. So if you can take a couple of seconds to respond to the poll, that would be great.
A couple more responses coming in here, but we'll close it in just a couple of seconds.
Okay, great.
That will be a few seconds before the results come in. I can tell you, well, let's see, it should be up in just a moment here.
Okay.
Okay, you should be
there we go. All right, so it looks like the majority of people are using either, let me look at this a little bit more in detail. Okay, so we have 2013, which comes out on top, and then, at a tie, we have 2015 and Dynamics CRM Online. Okay, so it's very, very interesting to note here. Thanks so much for participating in our poll. All right, I'm going to get to a last slide before we move on to the demo. I like to show this slide because it shows our typical e-signature transaction workflow. My colleague here, Maura Franco, will be providing a demo, but just wanted to take a few moments to talk you through each step quickly and highlight some of the best practice options for each of these steps. So as you can see here, there are a number of processes both upstream, which includes the tools to generate the document like Word and Excel, and then downstream, where the documents are stored and archived in systems like CRM and SharePoint. Our solution, eSignLive, is central to the workflow. So the first step in the process is accessing the document. Now, obviously, participants in the signing ceremony need to be able to get access to the transaction somehow. And this can happen in several ways, including through an email invitation or perhaps a link to a customer portal, for example. The second step is authentication. You definitely need and want multiple options for user authentication. This could include things like email, SMS text, shared secret questions, or you can even use a third-party authentication service like Equifax. The third step is presenting documents to the signer. You need to have that flexibility to present documents for review either on paper or on screen. And, that might seem a little strange to be able to review on, paper documents in an electronic process, but you have to keep in mind that, in some situations, the device that the user or the signer is signing a document on may not have sufficient screen real estate for reviewing long or text-heavy documents. So, you have to give that option to either go to paper or to go through the transaction on screen. The fourth step is data capture, and the chances are many of your forms have text boxes, check boxes, radio buttons, drop-down lists, and things like that. So the data needs to be inserted into a form before it can be signed. We enable you to capture data at the time of signing and then make that data available to your downstream systems. The fifth step is document insertion. And, these are one of the steps that may or may not apply to your particular use case. But as an example, say you have a salesperson in the field that's meeting with a new client. The rep may want to upload some additional proof of the client's ID. You may want to take a photo of the client's driver's license and then upload it to the e-sign transaction. The sixth step is signing, and this is probably the most familiar step in the process. There are several signing options, including click to sign and handwritten signatures via a tablet or a phone or a signature capture pad. With eSignLive, you can select the capture method that is most appropriate for each specific user role or channel. And the last step is document delivery. Now, the signed documents can be distributed electronically or on paper. To put this all into context, we'll move on to the demo. So I'm going to pass the mic on to my colleague Mauro, and he'll take it from there.
Thanks, Raheem. Let me just share my screen. All right. So what we have here is I've logged into my Microsoft Dynamics CRM account. And what I've done is in my account I have several, in Microsoft Dynamics CRM I have several accounts. I've chosen the STI Banking Enterprises account. And I've chosen, let me do this again. Here, I've chosen the STI Banking Enterprises account. And what it does is it gives me a list of the associated packages in my initial view. From this view, I can create a new package. So let me create a new package by simply clicking the Add New Package. In this current view here, I have several options that I can choose from. I'll start by giving my package a name. So in this scenario, what I'll do is I'll create an NDA, and it'll be an NDA for my contractor, who is not with me in the same room, but who's actually probably in another state. So let's do an NDA for James Franco, we'll say. We'll just put the package name as that. And we have several options. And Raheem was mentioning you can also, instead of creating the entire package from scratch, you can base it on a template, which is what this second option here is. We're going to forego that for the moment because when you base it on a template, you really have nothing to do. And I'd like to show you a bit about what all the different options available when you're creating a package are. So we can give it a description if we like. We can go and give it an expiry date. So what that would mean is that if the package needs to be completed before that date, you can set reminders as well. You can even specify specific messages inside for this specific package. We could have had an in-person process, which is what the in-person signing enables, and what that does is that allows it means that all individuals are in the same room and they can pass control to different signing parties. What we're going to do actually is we're going to enforce the signing order here, so we're going to click this, and I'll show you what that does in a minute. So we can actually specify different signers and say who goes first, who goes second, who goes third, and so on. So we have, when I click that enforce signing order, it placed me as one of the signers. And I can go ahead and add another signer by clicking the plus here. What we'll do here is I'll add James in. Whoops. And let me just put his first name, his last name, give him a title. He's our CRM MVP, and he's going to be in, his company is Franco Enterprises. What we'll do is we have several options here as well. We can choose which authentication method this signer is going to have when entering in. We'll keep it as email for now, which just basically means that they're authenticating in through their email, and then they'll be able to enter the signature process. The other options were using Q&A, so questions and answers, or using SMS, so whereby they receive a unique PIN and on their mobile phone, and then they'll need that unique PIN to be able to be authenticated. You can send this individual a personal message with an email using this option here, and you can also select the delivery option. What we'll do is, this is an NDA, and we're going to want that at the end, once everybody has signed the NDA, we're going to want James to receive it by email. So I'm going to select yes here. Change signer option, this means that we can allow James to delegate to somebody else to sign on his behalf. This isn't the case here because we want James to actually sign. So we have lots of options available at the signer node, at the signer level. We're going to save this. And we want James to go first. So what we're going to do here is we're going to switch the order. We're going to select James, and we're going to move him up. So James goes first, and then I will complete the signing after him. So let's go back to that package that we created. So we've set a few options in this package. Remember, James is not in the same room as myself, so that's why we're not using the in-person signing. We're going to enforce the signing order and want James to go first. And now we're going to add a document. We're going to give the document a name. It's an NDA. We're going to save it, and we're going to add the actual NDA document that we're going to use. I've got two of them. We'll select this one. And we can also add any description or any informational text. So to tell James a bit about how he should sign this document. So we can say, please sign this document if you are in agreement with its terms. And this will be shown in the signature process. So I'm going to click Done here, and I'll click Save and Close. And if I scroll down to the bottom, I can see my document has been added with the description. This is all using our Microsoft Dynamics CRM connector. Okay, so now we're going to prepare to send. And what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to prepare that document that we've set up, that we've created, the NDA document. We can set up the signature blocks. You can see here they explain 3 easy steps to set up our signature blocks. You select a signer, you click the signature, you can drag the signature block to the desired location, and you click Send once you're ready to prepare to send a document. So let's go ahead. Our first document we get here is the e-sign consent. So we don't need to place any signature locations on this because this document is actually going to be accepted by each individual, and it explains the terms in which the two signers are going to embark on in signing this actual package. So we're going to go to the next document. And we have here the actual document that needs to be signed, and we have the different signers. So what we're going to do is we're going to add signature locations for both signers. So let's choose both signers, and let's add signature locations to them for these individuals. So we have myself here. I'm going to drag this to my signature location, and we have James here who's going to sign it here. We can increase the space allocated for the signature. And we can actually do a lot more with this. So now we can actually change the signer type, the signature type. So we can use a signature capture instead. And we can also add other fields. So we've got this field selection here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add his name. And these are fields that are automatically added. And we can add the title. And we can add the date as well. And we can do this all here. You see we also have the option of text field, checkbox, list, radio, and text area. Fortunately, in this actual document, there's no need for that. But you can easily add it the same way I've added the other fields. What I'll do is I'll also add a signing date for this individual here. There we go. Okay, so we've prepared our document. We have our two signers, and we have certain fields that we've set up for those different signers. And now we can click on the Send button at the top. And we're going to confirm that, yes, we want to go ahead and send this. And we get an e-sign package has been successfully sent. So we can close this the screen. And the way I set up this package was that James is going to be the first person who's going to enter the signature process. And James is not in the same room as I am, so he's going to receive an email. So I'm going to access James's emails. So I can click here. He's going to access his emails. And we see here is we see a branded email that goes to James. And of course, this is very simple branding on my part, but you can customize these emails as you see fit. James has a link here that he's going to click on. He's going to click this here. And he's going to, so he receives the e-sign consent. He can read through this. He can accept or he can opt out. He's going to accept. And then he's got his NDA document. And he, remember I had given, I typed in some description. So here it is, please sign this document if you're in agreement with its terms. And he can scroll down now, and he can click here, and he can sign the document. So here's James' signature. There you go. And he will confirm that signature. So very easy to apply signature, very easy to prepare the actual document as well. And so now he's completed. All his information is there. He didn't need to enter any extra information. If I had the information, it was already placed for him, like his name, his title, and the actual date in which it was signed. So he's done. And now what happens is that the I'm going to countersign. So I'm in NDA for James. I'm going to start signing. And I can sign within Microsoft Dynamics CRM. I don't need to be outside of Dynamics CRM. So this is a very nice feature where I can actually sign within the actual Dynamics CRM. Of course, I could have received an email and clicked the link on the email and then sign from there. But I decided here, you know what, I'm going to sign within Dynamics CRM. So I'm going to click accept on the NDA. I confirm my signature. Yes, I signed. I wanted to sign that area. And now I have a fully executed NDA. Here's the document, fully executed. Didn't take long at all. From preparation to fully executed. Now, the other thing, too, I wanted to mention was that I had placed in when I set up the package, I said that I wanted James to receive the NDA via email attachment. And so here is another email, completely different from the one previously. So you can actually brand every single one of the different emails that goes out. And I receive here the NDA attachment. I'm going to download it. Oh, and I probably have to share that. Give me a second. Share. Just going to share the desktop. There we go. And what I'd like to show you is what happened there. What I'd like to show you is the actual document. So I'm going to open up this document. It's opened up in a Adobe Reader, I think here, and it says at the top left, a green arrow says sign and all signatures are valid. So your actual PDF reader tool will actually tell you if these signatures are valid. It doesn't go back to the ESign Live by Solanus to say, hey, is this document valid? So it doesn't do that. It actually the validity of the document is maintained within the document itself. And furthermore, let's if you actually hover over each signature location, it'll tell you valid signature. And if I click on that signature, it'll tell you again with the green checkbox that check mark, excuse me, that the signature is valid. And you can dig down into the different signature locations and see that all the different elements that are captured, the signing time, the IP, and you can even dig down deeper and look at the intended use for this actual signature, which is a non-repudiation. It's a digital signature, and you can look at the encryption level. It's a SHA-256 encryption that's being used, certificate that's being used. So there's a lot of information that's contained within the PDF itself. We go even one step further. If you open up the signature panel here on the left, we can see the version of the document that James actually signed. And this is revision 1. We can open this up. We can click here, click to view this version. And you can see now here, this is what James saw when he signed the NDA, when he signed his version of the NDA. And this is all included inside the PDF. And you can also see the version that I signed. So I can click to view this version. And you can see my version looks exactly like the final version because I was the last person to sign. And there we go. So we've looked at how to prepare a document from within Microsoft CRM Dynamics CRM, excuse me. And we've looked at one scenario, which is where an individual is not in the same location, and he's received an email to sign the document, and it's all prepared within Microsoft Dynamics CRM using the connector. And we've looked at the audit trail within the actual PDF. What I'll do now is I'll pass control back to Raheem. Stop sharing. Pass control back to Raheem.
Thanks, Mauro. So thanks so much for giving that demo. I hope that gave everyone kind of a perspective on how our add-on for Dynamics CRM works. So naturally, we've been talking a lot about CRM systems during this webcast, but it's also important to know that e-signatures can be used in many ways. Some of you may already be well on your way in your evaluation of an e-signature solution, and maybe some of you have just started. At ESign Live by Solanus, we offer flexible options to help you get up and running with e-signatures depending on your requirements and the level of complexity of your workflows. So this slide here shows you kind of 3 different options that you can get up and running pretty quickly with our cloud-based service. So we offer a standalone cloud-based service, which we call our professional edition of ESign Live. This is a quick and secure way to use e-signatures right from our online service. So all you have to do is simply upload your documents, identify who needs to sign them, drag and drop your signature blocks, and then send. Very similar to what Mauro showed in the demo, but this would be through our online portal. No IT resources would be required because, you're leveraging the out-of-the-box service and the cloud. What I also wanted to mention is that we also offer what we call a print driver, and that connects to our e-signature service from any Windows-based application. So this requires zero integration and really enables you to send documents out for signature directly from the source application. So for example, if you're creating contracts, agreements, or NDAs in popular applications like Microsoft Word or Excel, you can conveniently get them signed using our print driver. So you would simply use the print function in those applications, and then it would send the document to eSignLive directly, where you would, prepare the document accordingly. The second column talks to those organizations that are looking to embed e-signatures into your branded web applications or homegrown systems. We offer open APIs and SDKs for people that want to do that. So these are programming tools that are suited for organizations that typically have a larger volume of transactions and want the ability to really customize the interface and the e-signature workflow to match their exact branding needs. So for example, if the transaction was starting in your web portal or a different system that you were using, but if you wanted to have those e-sign documents then stored back into, for example, Dynamics CRM or SharePoint, you could leverage our APIs and SDKs to really customize that workflow to your specific needs. In the last column, we offer pre-built add-ons for systems like Dynamics CRM and SharePoint. So this is where we were just talking about what we offer as our integrated solution. Because we've done all of that integration work for you, you really need minimal IT resources to get started inside these popular enterprise applications, and that's exactly what Mauro just showed you in his demo. My last slide for today is just talking a little bit about, the many customers that, have publicly talked about e-signatures that have really transformed their business. So here are a couple of customer reviews that I pulled directly from G2 Crowd, and I mentioned them a little bit earlier, where they kind of take those software reviews from real customers. So for example, here we have a consultant in IT services that said, removing an ink-based signature process not only improves the customer experience, it provides tangible return on investment due to workflow efficiencies. And there was an administrator in computer software that said, it's imperative to move to an electronic signature model for customer experience, business efficiency, as well as environmental protection reasons. So, there's tons of reviews on G2 Crowd. I encourage you to go on that site. You'll be able to actually compare a solution against other players like DocuSign or EchoSign. I encourage you to have a look at that site as well. All right, so that ends our presentation portion of the webcast. I just wanted to provide some information on how to get in contact with us. I've provided my personal email address here. If you're a prospect or you're interested in using our add-on or our APIs or SDKs, happy to have a conversation with you guys. If you're perhaps a Microsoft partner, I've put Mary Ellen Power's email address here, and she'd be happy to talk to you guys about potentially working together. And of course, our Twitter and LinkedIn handles if you're interested. We'll also be at the upcoming Convergence Conference next month, so really looking forward to meeting some Microsoft users there, and please come by our booth if you'll be around. So
we have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Our first question comes from Anne Marie. Can you select a contact associated within an account, or do you always have to add a name and email address?
So you have actually both options. You can add a contact manually like Mauro did in his demo, or the contacts that are stored directly in Dynamics CRM, you can pull those as well. So that's an option we have through our connector.
So if anybody else has a question, please just type it into the question box and we can ask Raheem and Mauro. The other question we have, can we have custom fields in a form where, say, a candidate can fill in his details, say in an L9 form, and then ask to sign it back?
Yes, absolutely. So we didn't actually show all the fields in the demo, but if you remember in the drop-down or the little box that Mauro showed in his demo, there were multiple field types that you can select to add to your document. So if you're looking to capture responses through radio buttons or check boxes, if it's a line item of sets of data that they have to select, or if they need to manually key in certain data through a text field or text box, those those options are absolutely available through the platform as well.
Okay, and another question, when using CRM 2015 on-premise, will ADFS be required?
So ADF Active Directory, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah. So right now, to be honest, I don't have that information on hand with me. We do integrate with Active Directory right now through our current version. So, you know, my guess would be yes, but we can get back to Anne Marie on that specific question.
And can responses from the forms from our earlier question be mapped back to CRM?
So currently in the version that we were just showing you right now, that unfortunately is not a possibility, but that's something that we're working on right now for our next version of our app. So that will be coming soon to our connector shortly. So absolutely, that will be something that you'll be able to see in the upcoming release.
Okay, great. Any other questions? I think that's all of them.
There is one other question that just came into me kind of privately that that I can relay here. It's asking about audit reports. Can those be generated from the application?
So the audit reports, I'm trying to understand what that means, but if they're looking for an audit trail, you know, that's actually built into the PDF itself. So as Mauro showed in his demo, in the signature panel in the PDF document, you'll see an audit trail of, you know, who signed, when, and what order. That's included directly with the PDF. You don't need to connect to our service to see that. That information lives in the e-signed PDF.
What you can also do is you can also have an evidence summary that can be also, it's actually a textual audit trail as opposed to what I showed you there, which was embedded inside the PDF. And there's a third way, and that's using the API, where you can actually use the API to grab information about what happened in the signature process. And I don't know if this is more developer people on the line, but I mean, you could definitely do that with the API or the SDK that's available.
I also saw an additional question that came up. It said, how many multiple parties can sign on a single document? So you can define that as you wish. If you have, you know, 10 signers, 15 signers that need to sign on a document, you really can define that in the process. So as you saw in the Dynamics CRM add-on demo that Mauro showed, there was a section called signers, and you simply add as many signers as you need on a single document. And then you would simply place those signature blocks on the document as needed.
If there's any developers out there who want a more technical presentation, we've got some upcoming presentations with the XRM developers that you can get invited to. So you see Rahim's email on the screen. If you email him, we'll make sure that you get invited out to that session.
Absolutely, yep.
There was also a question earlier on getting access to these slides. Would it be best to email Rahim on that as well?
Yes, and we'll also provide, of course, a recording available. So if you'd like to rewatch the presentation, we'll happily make that available to anybody. Any other questions? All right, so we're going to end off a little early then, I guess, today. Thank you so much for your time today, and we really appreciate you joining us today, and have a great rest of the day.